You're watching Cheche live on Citizen TV. Today's guest is the Honorable Najib Balala. And before the break, you were talking to us about your party, Republican Congress Party, which you launched about 3 weeks ago. What is the vision of this party?
Well, first of all, we said we launched this party, the Republican Congress Party of Kenya. We want to see if we can be able to articulate the issues that are being raised in the Coast Province. Not only the Coast Province, but Kenya at large. We talk our first principle or pillar is issue of leadership and values. The second is about equity and justice. Third is about devolution and governance. Fourth is about security, cohesion and integration. And fifth is about social economic development. Okay,
how do you intend to achieve security and cohesion coming from a place like the coast where we have been seeing a secessionist movement, where there's a lot of animosity between the so-called indigenous, say the Mijikenda and other groups, and the group that, the racial group that you represent, the Kenyan Arabs?
Well, it's unfortunate this has been there for a long time and it has been perpetuated to actually divide Kenyans. And it's not about now the coast. It's not about coast and the Arabs. It's now the coast and the upcountry. And that's why I put cohesion to be key in this party. Because we cannot live without everybody else. If we start segregating ourselves between tribes and religions and color, then we are not a nation. I don't believe in that. So I said this should be one of the key pillars of this party. And that's why we said it's not easy, but we have to make that first step so that we can change the mentality.
And the key, you seem to have some doubts.
Well, I just think that Mr. Balala has a long journey to travel to get to what his aspiration is. The Coast Province is very complex. I mean, even forming a party such as the Republican Congress, it's not going to involve or attract the membership of all coastal people, and that he must admit, because the whole antagonism between what I call Kenyans of Arab extraction at the coast and the Kenyans of African extraction at the coast is still very wide. So even his party, as he forms it, I don't see it attracting the people in Kwale, Kilifi, the Mijikenda, the Giriama, the people we are talking about, because they still think that, and that's part of the problem why Balala has been unable to articulate the coastal problems adequately, even though he's seen as representing the coast at the national level. He's not seen by the people on the ground as representing them.
Mutegi, what do you think? Because you asked the question earlier, to the extent that one of our viewers has asked why, when the MRC disrupt activities, it seems to be that the upcountry people, the coastal people of African extraction are the ones who are killed or suffer, and not the Arab Kenyans.
The coast people, there are a lot of others, people from upcountry who live in Mombasa, who were born there, who was for like many of them. But when they fight, when the Mijikenda fight, they normally are against a problem, mainly Central Province people and people from Eastern. And I do not know whether Balala, in his cohesion, I do not know whether he is targeting first the Mombasa Republican Council, the people from upcountry, or is it a clique of what he's saying, the rich people from Mombasa?
Well, first I don't represent the rich. I'm more elected by the poor, and everybody knows that I don't get support from the rich, and because I defend the right of the poor. And here is that what David has said is a complex situation. We are fragmented into many tribes. We are not like a province called Nyanza or Central or Eastern or Lower Eastern. We have 10 tribes around Coast Province. To bring them together is not easy. And then there is not only tribe, there's also religion, and then there's also racial. So those are challenging issues. So we cannot say we are defeated every time. We have to make plans and bring people together and appreciate. And then they trust you as a leader. And thank God, at least relatively, I am trusted as their leader in Coast Province. And I try to bring them together.
Are you trusted, Balala, as the leader of Coast Province or the leader of Mombasa?
I think even larger than Mombasa. Even larger than Mombasa. Because I'll tell you, I can go to Taita and talk to them and they will trust what I say. Because they see from my deeds and my performance and my intentions. And it's not easy, David. It's challenging. But we need to start somewhere.
Okay.
I want to say again what Mutegi said. I'm not targeting the upcountry, or not targeting necessarily the Arabs or the coastal, no. We want all of them to understand we have no choice but to live together as upcountry, because we have Luos who have been born in 1900. Yeah?
I'll pick you up on the trust issue because we're running out of time, and I know you have political ambitions that we need to get into. But there's a question from Dr. Joe, who is in Mombasa. Can you deny the speculation, A, that you are sponsoring the MRC and you're being groomed as the king after secession? Why does the group want to kill the Honorable Kingi? Because, of course, he was attacked. His bodyguard was killed in that attack, who is doing so much for the coast in a local Mijikenda. Why does... why don't you speak out boldly about Kenya being one? It's really, and there's several people who ask about, you know, your links to the MRC, your support for the MRC, because when it comes to funding, we know that several of them have been in legal processes, you know, the fees have been quite high, and it's believed that people like yourself with the deep pockets are the ones bailing them out.
I think people know who has deep pockets in Mombasa and in Coast Province, by the way. If you don't know, you'll ask and you'll be told. Secondly, is that first MRC, I don't believe they have any funding from anybody. Because you could see from their capacity, from their branding, from their flags, from even the bail that they used to be getting, it was only 10,000. It was not 3 million like today. And I can tell you, and we have MRC cells everywhere in Coast Province, not only in Mombasa. They do fundraising of 100 bob, 100 bob. And they take 1 week to 1 month to bail out somebody of only 10,000 shillings, I can tell you. Nobody is funded. I don't believe. And these rumors...
So you're not funding them?
I want to say very, very categorically here on national media, I do not fund MRC. I don't believe MRC's approach on secession is right. I don't believe MRC approach on exclusion is right. I don't believe MRC issues of boycotting elections is right. But there are genuine issues that need to be addressed. And I told government, let's develop a Marshall Plan to address this historical injustice. And I said, if Arabs have grabbed land, bring them to book. I'm not going to protect any Arab. Arab grabber is the same as indigenous coastal grabber, is the same as an upcountry grabber. Let's do an inventory of land. Who owns land? And we start telling people, you have grabbed, this is the process wrong, we are possessing this for the people. And let's genuinely possess it and give it to the people. Even if it belongs to my brother, my own blood, give it to the people. I'm ready to.
Okay, the Minister for Lands, James Orengo,
yes,
was an activist, a man who's known to be, and he also ODM, the party we belong to.
Yes.
Why is he not able to do that?
I'll give you an example, Mutegi. Yesterday it was on TV, Changamwe, Dungu. The Minister of Land went there himself and said this land has a caveat and it should not be touched. That was his statement. Everybody was assured 2 months ago. What happened yesterday? Women, you saw children and women were all thrown by bulldozers and beaten up by police. Where is trust in the Ministry of Lands? So we cannot even trust the Ministry of Lands.
Okay.
Because they can make statements which are very activism, yeah, but it does not help to resolve the issues of land in our people.
So let's come to your political ambitions then, because you talk about, you keep, you know, going on and on about trust. You want to be a Senator of Mombasa.
Yes.
Why?
I think I'll be a good bridge between the county politics and county development programs and the national issues. First of all, I've been a mayor. Yeah, I know how the council and Mombasa County is dire in need, and also what are the challenges and how they can be addressed. The second thing, I've been in government as well, in terms of the executive, knowing how government operates. So that being a bridge between the county and the national element. As well as, I want to say that everybody is telling me, why don't you run as a governor? You'll be a good governor because you're a doer. Yes, I was not only good in tourism, but also I became the best minister of tourism in Africa. I became the president of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, historic for Africa. Why don't you be a governor? I said, no, it's not a matter of me. We can also have people here who are qualified. We can work as a team. And that's why we are going the double B plan, the Babangida Balala plan. That is the double B plan that is going to develop Mombasa. And remember, the governor is going to be an executive implementer of the programs, and the finances, and the senator is going to be the auditor and supervisor of the governor in terms of his performance, and also reporting back to the Senate on how they perform and they utilize their resources.
Balala, there are people who think that this is a serious gamble. People would like to see you in public life. They would like to see you in some form of leadership. But they think that what you're going for is a tall order. Essentially because, one, the party is really a fresh party without clout. Is depending on your name. Two, you don't seem to have to command the support of the Mombasa tycoons who run the politics in Mombasa anymore, because you've lost this to Joho. How are you looking at this? What are your prospects, really?
Well, I think that output or that result will be known in 2013 March. I want to challenge you here, all of you, that come 2013 and see where will Balala be and what changes will come to Mombasa. And for that matter, you're talking about tycoons. Do I need to be on the side of the tycoons who most of them, not all of them, some of them are involved on land grabbing of innocent wananchi, or public schools, or municipal houses? Do I need really to be on their side? I don't need to. Let me tell you, I don't need to have the big money to buy people to vote me in. I rather lose if I buy people to vote me in, because then it kills my principle. I can do. Let me finish. Let me finish this. Let me tell you, there is life after being a politician. Yes, and I want to be a politician still to lead my people and help them. And we have a plan, a roadmap to how we can transform Mombasa. And I gave you a small example of how we can make Mombasa port without much money, without hullabaloo. And I give you an example. And I'll give you an example how we are going to...
We're running out of time. We've extended our time. So there are several people who are congratulating you. They're saying they like the work that you've done. They would like to keep you, as David said, in public life. But there are those who also are skeptical. One, for instance, asks about the party you formed, saying that you're not sincere. There are parties like Kadu Asili and Shirikisho. Why couldn't you have joined and strengthened those parties instead of forming a new party?
Okay.
And the perception also is that because you couldn't influence ODM, that you've gone to a place where you feel you can, hold sway.
Be king.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, there's nothing wrong to be king, by the way, and there's nothing wrong to be the top of the leader. And let me tell you, I have an ambition. I have, but still, I have an ambition to be the president one day of this country.
Right.
And I think I have what it takes to be the president of this country.
So why are you going for the Senate and not for the presidency?
I feel I have time to actually develop myself. I'm still young. I'm 10 years in parliament. Why pretend I want to chew more than I can? I can't, yeah? What I say is that I want to build up. And I need to be known countrywide. I cannot just be known in Coast Province and think I can become a president by just announcing. It's easy to announce.
Somebody asked that question. Why form a party? Why not join those which are there?
Yes. Kadu Asili. Same thing with the Shirikisho.
Yeah.
I looked for them before. But they're dodgy. They cannot be trusted by anybody. That's why they have fizzled out. You show me what does Shirikisho stand today. It was relevant in 20 years ago. Yeah, they managed to peddle and sell the party from different alliances. And then come to Kadu Asili. Where are they?
We have 2 minutes.
You see, the thing is, the Shirikisho Kadu are seen to be representing the native, coastal,
indigenous.
And you know that divide. You are coming in with the Republican Congress, which is going to be seen as Balala
an extension of the MRC.
Not even MRC, of the Arab coast, Mombasa, the dominant politician. How are you going to achieve the support of the coast?
It's unfortunate we are sitting here and you want to tag me to say RC is representing Arabs. No. I can tell you.
Leadership. I mean, we must be
no, it's not perception. You come to the ground. I challenge you.
No, there's a lot to what he says, because even the viewers are asking about that. MRC is about Arab domination of the Mijikenda. How come there are no Arabs actively involved in the demonstrations of the MRC? What have the Arabs done to help the Mijikenda? They've made them uneducated and poorer.
The Arab left how many years ago? 50 years ago? Let's not talk about the Arabs. 200 years ago. Before 50 years, they were the British colonies. Yes? Let's talk about 50 years ago.
But Mr. Balala, the problem is this, that you're actually denying a fact even on the ground, these perceptions we agreed
I agree.
are there.
David,
They're not
David,
our creation. They're there on the
let
ground.
me tell
People
you.
have these attitudes
Let
and
me
so
tell-
forth,
let me tell you, David,
which
yeah.
are going to persist. You must face them, confront them, and deal with them.
That's why I said, when we go to the ground, you will see the difference. And that's why we put cohesion and integration to be key in our party.
So does
because
the
we
leadership of your
understand.
party reflect the face of Kenya?
Of course, of course. You go to the registrar and you'll see the names that are there. Yeah, they reflect the face of Kenya. Not only cost, the face of Kenya, and all colors and gender included. And I want to say that we appreciate there is a challenge of getting people together, and there is a genuine issues against Arabs, against upcountry. But do we just say these are there and let's accept it as part of life?
No, you
No.
fight them.
What we do,
Time
we
is
say, let's make a point to change this rule.
Okay, our time is up, but David,
Okay.
very quickly.
Finally, I mean, you are not running for president. Your party is not fronting any. Whom are you going to join or support?
The presidency.
First of all, I want to say it's too early. I don't form a party just to join others. We form a party just to build it. And at the right time when it comes, we will consult with our NEC and say, what is an alliance that will fit us? And I can say that maybe we will may say, no, in presidency we have no candidate, you can vote whoever you want, but because our key issue in RC is devolution and governance. So it's about ugatuzi down on the ground. It's not necessarily about, and let me tell you.
So that's your last word?
My last word is that Kenyans, let's not be deceived on tribalism and color and race. This is our country. We have an obligation as a nation. Let's do it peacefully. If we don't agree, let's do it in a civilized manner. Rather of fighting against each other, it's not going to help us. One thing we have to do, we have to live together in a cohesive and integrated community as one nation, Kenya.
Thank you. And that's all we have time for on Cheche this week. Our thanks to the Honorable Najib Balala for your time with us, and the best of luck with your campaign. Our thanks also to panelists Wutegi Njau and David Makali. I'm Udwa Kamimo. Enjoy the rest of your week.